And this what if is what if Deku was Subject Delta. Yes, and you guys are wondering why are you posting this? Y'all know people are doing this. Well, people are, but some of them are posting it, but eh. So, Eleanor. So, guys, you know the part when if you guys ever played Bioshock? If not, I'll explain. Okay, basically, Eleanor took, in the game, Eleanor took Project Delta's like consciousness and transferred to her like consciousness so he could live and guide Eleanor as his daughter, but she wasn't really her dad. But it's a special connection. Anyway, Deku. Okay, Eleanor put him into a deep sleep, and then the girls pushed him over all the way to the bottom, all the way to the rapture, and he just stood there for like thousands of years because Eleanor had to make at some type of atom that would keep him alive and also make sure like if they're not linked anymore that it would keep him alive. It would Eve would keep him alive even without her, so he could no longer rely on her. The girls already grew up and moved on by that. They're already dead by those centuries. As one of the research, okay, after you like 1,000 years have passed, and then Kirk's happened, and there was a nearby like underwater like drone scanning the area, and it found the remains of Rapture. It was old and decayed, and it looked like it'd been abandoned for years. Everything in there is already dead, except they find one thing that's like has a heartbeat, and that would be Project Delta, just sitting there, just waiting for time to awaken. The scientist the sub scans him. He says, "Pulse detected, alive, subject." So and when the drone sent out the signal, the scientists were like, or the crew said, "What? How could anyone be alive down there in that pressure?" Deku was still wearing Project Delta was still wearing his armor, but since Harry, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. Ari, Arena. There you go. Arena was made some type of Eve to keep his armor like so it didn't rust but could stay intact for those many years, and it would like stop it all when he wakes. The Eve would stop when he wakes up in the bottom of the ocean, and that's when the scientist and anyway then when the crew heard about this, they called out their scientists that were in the lower in the lab area where the boat was, and they asked them if they are sure that their equipment's not malfunctioning. And they scanned like 23 times, and it said alive, alive again. So the scientist says must be alive, must be his quirk or something. Quirk, but couldn't be alive for that long if he had quirk. Well, a scientist was saying like, well, it could be he was probably the first person with a quirk, though. We're not really sure. And the guy's like, okay, but the the drone in the water is detecting vast amounts of some sort of energy or fluid, like coursing through him. It's highly like toxic because I bet some of that suit's like meant to contain some of that, but I see a few scratches and a few holes in it. And no, there are a few holes in it, but the holes aren't deep enough where Deku could drown. Deku's just not breathing and he's just unconscious. His body's just empty shell waiting to be awakened. And that's when the researcher says, "Well, we could probably rig up a drone to pick it up, or him, or he, or they, or she, whatever. We'll get it ready by 2 weeks." As they are getting the auto helicopter ready, they get it ready, and they do send down submarine divers, but they were wearing special suits so whatever the substance is, which is Adam, won't get into their system, because yeah, Adam's like basically like blood of Adam and Eve. Yeah. Anyway, that's when that's when they're like hooking Deku up to the crane, to the clamps, bringing him up, and and the divers are in the autopilot helicopter, and they put when they're like leaving, they put Deku in a container just to like seal him, like a cryogenic thing, just to make sure it didn't expose. But they really didn't want to. They wanted to research him further at their base. So that's when the divers hopped off the helicopter, or the drone helicopter, and it began flying over the USJ like dome, and that's when the USJ villain attack happens. And do you know the jamming quirk from My Hero Academia? Because Project Delta is Deku, but as like when the jamming thing was jamming it, let's just say like the drone was being autopiloted by its system and it was getting jammed, so it crashed, and all the students could hear, and the cryo container where Floppy and Medetta was hit the water. It sunk down because they saw the helicopter crash. You didn't see like the cryogenic pod or anything, and the pod got cracked. And it got exposed to the water, and Floppy and Momo, the yacht was already sinking before then, and they only have like 2 minutes left before they are completely surrounded by the villains and killed. And that's when Deku, Project Delta, wakes up. He sees a memory of his daughter. He says, "Father, if you're hearing this, that means I'm dead. And you're alive. You've been asleep for 1,000 years, I believe. It's too long. I don't know. But it looks like the Adam I gave you finally fixed you up. Took 1,000 years, but now you can live without me. Now you're not a toy. But you're pretty... How could I say it? Pretty old now. Anyway, see ya." And goodbye, Dad. Deku's like lights come on. He breaks the pot open in the water. All you hear was tonk, tonk, tonk in the water. Because the villains that were in the water could like feel that some vibrations coming from the water. As Deku looked up, he sees these weird people like with fins and stuff, and Deku says, like, splice or spicers or splicers. I can't remember the name. So Deku grabbed they grabbed two of, like, one of the villains by the legs. He dragged him down to the bottom, and that's when Deku drilled the guy at the bottom, and the guys are like saying, "What was that?" And they saw blood coming up out of the water. Floppy and Mineta were like also scared because they have like 3 more seconds until the boat's completely submerged, and that's when Deku decides to electrify the whole water. He does. He kills all the villains. The villains are like screaming, like in pain and agony, like saying, "Help! Someone help us! Help us!" All of the villains are dead. Floppy and Momo, like, they hit the water. They were like really expecting to die, but they weren't. They thought of it as a villain attacking another villain for fun, but it wasn't. No one was there. They didn't see you put the electricity in the water, but yeah. Floppy and Momo. I mean, why do I keep saying that? Floppy and Medetta They reached the shore, and that's when Shigaraki was there, about to grab onto Floppy's face, and then that's when Deku reaches the top, and he like basically like punches like his drill pops out of nowhere. Shigaraki's like, "What the hell?" And then Nomu's like does the thing, he interferes. And then that's when Deku comes out fully submerged in this, but without the minigun. He has a drill on, and he has the fire in his right hand. Oh, yeah, never mind. And Deku proceeds to drill the Nomu's arm, cutting, basically ripping it off, cutting it off. And the Nomu proceeds to regenerate. And then Deku decides to like punch Shigaraki with the drill into a wall, and Shigaraki's like, "What is that? Is that a hero?" And all you could hear was tunk, tunk, tunk. As the Nomu his arms fully healed, punches Deku, but Deku didn't even budge. He just turned Deku on his he just punched Deku's helmet. And then when he punched Deku's helmet, his face turned to the left a bit. And then he looked at the Nomu, and he punches the Nomu in the face, straight to a wall. And that's when Deku's eyes turn red. And that's when he realizes that the three of those guys are enemies to the guys with the smoke. And this is when Deku says, and that's when Deku equips his drill and begins, like, you know when he has the drill, and then when you press B, you lunge at them? Oh, Deku lunges at the Nomu with the drill, and the Nomu's, like, punching Deku so fast that Deku's taking damage from this, and some of his suits are getting damaged. Good thing Deku has something that the Nomu doesn't, skills. So as Deku proceeds to drill the Nomu in the chest, and Shigaraki says, "Ha! You can't beat him. He has shock absorption." And Deku says to say, "Oh," and that's when Project Delta's like, and then he sees the drill, but Shigaraki wasn't. He just sees blood, but the blood is not going to the ground. It's going to the drill, going in circles through Deku's like wounds, and then healing them and fixing them. And Shigaraki's like, "What the fuck is this happening right here?" And that's when All Might appeared, seeing that the thing right there is like beating Nomu completely, because Deku has a perk. It's called Vampire for his drill. If he hits someone with it or stabs him directly in the chest, he heals his wounds and he can transfer the wounds onto the enemy he hits. So yeah, that's his thing. Or that's a perk basically. And that's when Deku kicks the Nomu backwards. That's when Deku proceeds to bring out the big guns. He brings out his minigun. Yes, in the picture, that minigun is holy. And then he proceeds to use armor piercing rounds on it. And he does so. But Deku realizes that the was not a regular opponent. So he takes a picture of it. Takes a picture first and then uses his drill. And he begins researching it. And as the Nomu punched him, the research was complete. And it added a bonus perk for a slot. And it says, do you want to equip super strength, super speed, and extreme healing? And Deku put it on in a millisecond when the Nomu punched him. And All Might was like, don't worry, I'm here. And he punches the Nomu and then punches Deku because he didn't know if Deku was a villain or not. And then this pisses off Deku. Deku gets out of the rubble. He's charging at All Might. He punches All Might in the face, knocking him through a building in the USJ. And all Class 1A is like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is he? Is he a hero or villain? And Deku sees Aizawa. And then Deku, like, analysis, takes a picture of him, researches him, and it also gets him another slot. It says, erase your quirk. Can erase any quirk. And when Deku took a picture, the Nomu punched Deku in the face in the helmet. But Deku, caught it with his hand. Then Deku takes another picture of the Nomu, and it reveals its weakness. Its weakness is its head. So Deku decides to drill the Nomu's brain and killing it. All Might couldn't get up because he was knocked out, and he only had like 1 minute and 30 seconds left for his All Might form. And that's when all the heroes showed up, because Shigaraki was about to he was lunging at Deku to decay his entire body. But that's when the hero shot Shigaraki in the. That's when the snipe shot him in the hand and all, and that's when Kirikiri and Shigaraki had to retreat, and they did. All villains were captured. And Deku began, and that's when Project Delta just his color changed back to yellow for non-hostile. And and right now, Deku begins, and Project Delta is being surrounded by the heroes, and Eraser is still knocked out on the ground. He's about to be taken to a hospital, but Deku was moving towards Aizawa, and they're saying, stay back from him." Deku grabs the person carrying Aizawa. He just throws him. Deku now has Aizawa, and Deku begins to heal him, but he heals his eyes. He heals most of his bones, but they're still a bit cracked. They'll heal in a few days. And then Deku put Aizawa down, and Aizawa's like, "What are you?" Deku put his head to the left. He's like, "Don't know. Don't remember much." much of my past. He's saying that, but he remembers everything, but he doesn't know like parts of his family that doesn't remember, like his whole family, how he got went to. Oh yeah, he did. He knows how he got to Rapture, but yeah, Deku beseeches to talk to Aizawa, like saying, "Where am I? What year is it?" 2021. I've been asleep for that long. And that's when Aizawa says, "Hey, are you hero or villain?" I'd say hero. How old are you? 17. Aizawa's like, "Oh, so you're really have no clue where you are, do you?" Or and Aizawa says, "You're wearing really old stuff," and the hero's like saying, "Aizawa, get away from him." And I was saying, "Guys, halt. I'm fine. You just healed me up." And that's when Aizawa said, "Do you want to join my class?" "Sure. What do you want to have me do, teacher?" "First of all, take off that helmet." "Can't." "Why?" Aizawa, like you said, Aizawa was like, "Why then? Why can't you take it off?" "'Cause if I take it off, I'll die." Aizawa was like, "Oh, well, we can probably fix that for you." "Really?" "Okay, where do you want me to go?" "Go to... I want you just to follow me." And Nozu's like, All Might's like, wakes up at this point. All Might's like, rush. All Might sees that thing with Aizawa, and All Might's like, Shh, oh no, it might hurt him. United States of Smash! And I was, because All Might was rushing to him, and Aizawa canceled his quirk, and All Might begins to steam, because he only had like 3 seconds left. And that's when Samantha, made a gap between the students and him so they didn't see his weakness. And the person he saw, then Deku saw how weak All Might was in his mini All Might form. Because he was losing one for all because he had another, because he had a successor. As Deku proceeds to follow Aizawa and talk to Nezu. Nezu proceeds to say, and that's when Aizawa takes Deku to Project Delta to Nezu. And yeah, that's when Nezu's, and that's when, as soon as Aizawa took Deku to Nezu, they're just like, huh, she made a new friend, I see. No, Aizawa said, he's my student, and I want him to attend UA. Really, no. How old are you? I'm 18. Oh, sorry. Make that 17. I just lose track of time sometimes. What do you mean, lose track of time? Well, that's not my real age, 17. And I was like, what? Then how old are you? 1,000 and... 1,000 and... 1,000... 1,021 years old. And they're like, what? How can you be that old? Because my daughter put me in a deep sleep for 1,000 years. I just woke up. And yeah, class 1A was in shock for, yeah, I already said that, but anyway. Baku's like, and Sato's like, who is that guy? Baku's like, I'm gonna nail that guy if he joins our class. Let's just say Juno's like, what's under that mask, I wonder? The girls are like really into what Izuku looks like now. They don't know his full name, they just know him as Project Delta E, not yet, but anyway. And as you like says, well, I didn't expect to hear that. That's be yeah. It's really hard to explain since the 1975, 1953 days. Because that's the time when I was a child, like when I went to Rapture, got experimented on, and my name, my life, my 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 identity, my voice taken, and now all you hear is the remnants of this voice. It used to be a great one. There's just like saying, ah, okay, I'm assigning you to this school. Like, wait, assigning you to the school. Like, wait, that fast? Why? You just met me. Well, well, would you prefer me to kick you out and send you to prison for killing villains? I see your point, but uh, that prison won't even contain me because my strength is beyond any normal humans or person's strength. And I was like, then you have a quirk then. Quirk. What's a quirk? And they're like saying, yeah. Yeah, both Nezu and Aizawa was like saying in their head, oh yeah, he's from the 1950s, so he doesn't know what that is. And that's when they said, well, quirks are basically powers that, abilities and powers that we have. We just call them quirks because it's the thing we call them. No wonder I've been feeling different. And Aizawa says, what do you mean feeling different? Ever since I woke up, my abilities begun to become one with me. I don't even need Eve to even, or Hypo to even use them. And I can actually select both of them whenever I want. That would explain why my body was changing and why I had to wake up so recently. Well, not recently, because I was breathing in the air from the not evolution of the quirks. But anyway, Nezu, Aizawa, what shall you have me do? Well, you're joining class 1A. And I was like saying, Aizawa was like saying, like, I agree with him. You should join my class. Why should I join you? Well, okay, Aizawa, I'll join your class. And I don't want to be, I don't know, people ask me to remove my helmet because it's been years since I've seen what I looked like. And this armor is pretty old. My equipment's old too. As I was like, Nezu, like, yeah, you can probably get like all upgraded if you want. As and Nezu's like saying, and like Delta's like saying, yeah, sounds good. Nezu, yeah, make dorms for the 1A class. And Nezu's like, why dorms? Aizawa, would you explain? Gladly. I didn't quite catch your name. My name used to be Izuku Midoriya, but I don't want that name. Just call me Delta. Or, or, or I used to be called Deku for my nickname, but call me Delta instead. Okay. So Delta's trying to say is, since we've been attacked by villains, it could probably potentially happen again. And we need the students. Well, students need to be safe from the villains, and we can't. They can't always. They can't go to their parents until they graduate and become heroes. Really? And they're just like saying, "Ah, I see. I'll tell the parents immediately. Thank you, Aizawa." Mm, Aizawa's walking away, and Aizawa said, "Delta, are you coming?" "Yeah, I'm coming." Thump, thump, and that's when Aizawa says, "Hey, Delta." "Yeah, I'm making a dorm for you as well. A bit bigger than most. And could you come by later? Cause I want to know what abilities you have." "All right, Delta, come on, we're getting late." Aizawa was saying. "Coming." Thump, 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 and Deki stops thumping. And okay, and Aizawa says, "Okay, stop." "Why you want me to stop?" "Shh, keep your voice down." "Okay. When I pronounce your name, you walk into class. You got it?" "Got it. You can stand if you want. I'll probably break the entire desk because of my height, and I don't. My physical strength will probably even like break the desk in two." Okay, okay. Aizawa walks into class. He has the bandages on his hands because they still haven't fully healed yet, and that's when Aizawa says, "Okay, class, we have a new student joining," and they're like saying, "Here's a new student. Delta, come in." Thump. They hear thump, thump. As they see Delta's hand in the door, like opening the door, sliding it. Deku walks into class. Everyone sees how tall he is. And that's when Deku or Project Delta says, "Hi, my name is Delta. It is not my real name if you're wondering. But I don't want to be called by my real name. It's been years since anyone has said it. So I'm just going to stand over there in the desk area. Thump, thump, thump." Like he has his like arms crossed, and he's like leaning against a wall. Because hey, I have to make it look cool, okay? And then that's when Ida like says like, "Aizawa, how come he's not sitting at the desk? All students should be sitting at the desk." And Aizawa says, "Aizawa." I mean, Ida also says, "And why is he wearing that armor? You should tell her to take that armor off right now." That's when Aizawa says, Ida, if he takes that armor, if he takes out that armor, he'll die. And he like says, he shuts up when he hears like he'll die. And he also says, Aizawa also says, and he'll probably break the desk compared to his size, and his strength is beyond normal, like beyond a quirk. And they're like saying, like, what kind of quirk does he have, Aizawa? And that's when Aizawa says, he has 7 quirks, I'll have you know. 7? Yes. His quirks are telekinesis. He can use fire, electricity, ice. He can summon bees, and he has super strength. You know what? He has incredible super strength. But he's not as fast, but what can you do? Oh, I forgot. He also said he does have an 8th quirk, but he just told me, but he didn't want to tell you the rest of the class yet, because it could come in handy later. And the class says, what? He has an 8th quirk? Come on, that's cheating. Come on, Aizawa, tell us. And he just says, Aizawa says, no. You guys respect his business, and he who shall respect yours. So, anyway, on with class. As Aizawa was like teaching the class, and that's when the school bell rings, and Deku's still in class. He's just talking with Aizawa, and that's when Momo like hides behind the door, and Deku and Aizawa are like talking like, so Izuku Midoriya, I I know that is your name, but are you sure you don't want people to know about your name? Yes, I don't want them to know my name, because I have been through hell, and whenever I hear that name, it just makes me feel like I'm back in that hellhole, remembering everything I've been tortured, experimented on, ripped apart and put back together again over and over again, injected by some type of like serum and augmented to be this thing you see me as, and my name erased, my identity, my voice, my where you will. It's a lot to deal with, Aizawa. So, can you keep this between us and Leslie, please? Aizawa says, sure. By the way, yes, Delta? Is the dorms ready? Well, they're not ready yet. Mo says, dorms? What do you mean by experimented on? Well, Aizawa says, your dorm is actually ready. The others' dorms are still being worked on, but we finished yours in time. Well, compared to your size, because we had to make it an easy elevator access. We're sorry to say this, but we had to place you in the girls' room. And Deck is like saying, why? Because one of the boys locked himself in the room for 24 hours, and we literally had to pry the door open, so we gotta make the boys' that one of the boys' rooms into a bathroom, an extra one. Deku says, "Fine, I'll go there then." Thump, 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 and Momo hears him like walking away. She quietly gets up and she pretends she's walking in the hallway, and that's when Deku like sees like she pretends that she didn't see Deku. Says like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention." Deku kneels down, holds out his hand. It's like, "It's fine. I didn't hear you coming." Have a nice day. Thump, 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 thump. And also, Aizawa did say something, but really quietly he says, "Okay, I want you. Okay, Deku. There is Nezu wants to talk to you about something, about you taking off that armor. And we have one serum that may fix you to make you live outside the armor to take that off, so you may be good. And when you take the armor off, it is a bit old, but we can probably upgrade it a lot better than usual. Okay, so Deku gets Nezu, and Nezu says, "Ah, you're here." And Deku says, "Yeah, where are we going?" And Nezu says, "Follow me." "Where are we going, Nezu?" Thump, thump. That's Deku thumping. Thump, thump. Well, we have to test. Well, we have to test it out in case it fails, right? Mm, you're a smart mouse. Thank you. And don't call me mouse. Just call me Nezu, okay? Mm, okay. And Nezu proceeds to open a briefcase. And Nezu says, "Here, inject this into your arm, and you should be able to uh, take off that armor." Deku proceeds to grab the needle. A tube comes out of his arm. Deku like puts the needle where the tube is. He begins pushing it. Deku's like saying like, and there's just like saying like, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. I'm fine. It just hurt a lot. So let's take this helmet off then." As Nezu sees Deku's face,